to the channel. Today I wanted to do a quick video, preferably 5 to 8 minutes, to tell you 5 things that I absolutely love about my 5th generation 2001 VFR 800. This is an amazing bike. I really love it, and I find myself keep coming back to the VFR over and over again. So I did had a red VFR before this one, which I did sell, and I regretted it straight away. So I ended up buying another one, the first 5th generation bike I saw on the internet. So the 5 things that I love about this bike: currently it doesn't have the bodywork on because it was in the garage, but I'll do another video doing a full review, 6-month ownership review of this bike. So the 5 things I do love about the VFR 800. The first thing is the engine. The V4 engine on these bikes is just sublime. Now, if you know anything about the VFRs, about the VFRs, you know, these engines on the 5th generation ones are legendary. So if you see the race bike, the VFR 750R, the RC30, you will see prices anywhere between $50,000 to the highest one I saw on the internet was $82,000. Those were the proper race bikes that Honda built. And let me tell you something. The engine on the VFR 750R and this one is very identical. So both have air-driven cams, share the same components. Honda absolutely went to town when developing this engine, and they over-engineered it to an extent that these bikes have built a reputation of being bulletproof and absolutely reliable because of that V4 engine. And that's why these 5th generation VFRs are so high in demand, because of that V4 engine. Now the second thing I really love about my VFR is the handling. Now whether you're going on straight roads or twisties, the bike feels so balanced. It is such a good grippy motorcycle. The tires that I currently have are not that good, but still it just feels absolutely planted. It's just so smooth, and you feel like absolutely secure. You feel like you're in your dad's arms and you're a kid again, and you know that your dad is not gonna drop you, you're not gonna be unsafe with your dad, and that's how this bike feels. I couldn't give any better analogy than this. The handling of this bike is just absolutely superb, and If you get like grippy tires, like Angel GT2s, or if you want to go sports, Diablo Rosso or something like that, that will absolutely transform this bike. What a beautiful day. It's very cold, but it's still beautiful. And it's just so perfect. Even in the twisties, you just like lean the bike over and keep going, and not even for a second you're worried that it's not going to grip or it's not going to feel safe. You can just lean the bike over and just point it where you want to go and just keep going, and the bike will do the rest. The weight distribution on this bike is so perfect, so perfect. I find this comparable to any super bike that I have ridden so far. I had a couple of GSXRs, BMW S1000 and Hayabusa ZX14, all of that. Now granted, the last two may be classified as hyper sports or sports tours, but the handling on this bike is just amazing. And number 3 is the torque and the power low down. Now most of us, when we get motorcycles, we're not track junkies. You're not gonna go on the track every weekend with your cowhide suit and your trailer. Most of us, 95% of us, so I just made up that statistics, will ride these motorcycles on the road. So the most important part when riding a motorcycle on the road is the low down torque and acceleration. See that? Granted, this is not low down, but it's such a torquey engine. It's such a great engine. It's got tons of torque and it just goes like the Sting. So that's number 3, the power and torque low down. Number 4 is the ergonomics. I hope my fuel sensor is working properly, because if I run out of fuel here, I'm in the middle of absolutely nowhere. I'm gonna be in deep shit. There's no Ford network here. Anyhow, so number 4 is the ergonomics of this bike. It is so comfortable. I can't stress enough how comfortable this bike is. Now granted, this bike does have a very well sculpted, I think it's a sergeant seat on this one. I'll have to double check. Oh no, a dead wombat. Anyhow, poor guy. So the seat is aftermarket, but it is so beautifully sculpted. It just provides so much cushioning and the right shape for your bottom to rest. So you feel like absolutely comfortable. And this particular bike also has the heli bars, so they're slightly raised. But I did have a standard VFR, and let me tell you that the standard seat and the standard handlebars were very comfortable. I never felt fatigue. Now, granted, you have to take breaks every couple of hours at least when you're riding motorcycle, but it was very comfortable, very, very neat. Even the standard one, and this one just cherry on cake, cherry on the top. It is beautiful. It is so comfortable. You can sit in the saddle for hours on end. You can do your 600, 800 kilometer day rides, and as long as you're taking a couple of breaks in between, you'll be perfectly fine. You're not going to have any issues. So that's number 4. Now the last one, and you didn't think I was going to miss that, is the sound of this engine. The V4 sound with a little bit of aftermarket exhaust. This one has 10 tunes, but on my previous bike I had a Italian car, GPR. So I had the Albus ceramic GPR exhaust, the white one, and on the race mode without the baffle on that GPR exhaust, it absolutely howled. It sounded absolutely amazing, like this. 2 kilometers of winding road. Hear that? You'll have to buy a very, very expensive sports bike like a Ducati V4 or an Aprilia Tuono or a RSV4 to get a sound this good. And for a sub $5,000 bike, you can't ask anything more than that. So that's the number 5th reason. And just for bonus, we will add a 6th one, is the styling of this bike. Now the looks of the bike are quite polarizing. Some people love it, some people hate it. The 5th generation one looks a little bit rounded and a bit bulbous, but I feel the single-sided swing arm and the styling of the bike for that era, it just makes it look like a very not a classic but a retro bike. And considering what this bike can do on the road, the handling, the comfort, the power, the sound, it's a complete package. And it is often regarded as the all-rounder bike. Hey Lama! And people think all-rounder must be like a boring, slow bike. I'll tell you what, push this bike to the red line on your 5th gear and find out. You don't even have to go 5th gear, 3rd or 4th gear. Try pushing it to the red line and you will find out the race DNA that is ingrained in this engine. That's how good this bike is. So if you do get a chance ever to own a 5th generation